Ever thought how loneliness has become an epidemic in our modern era? It's not the kind of pandemic you can see, but it's one you can definitely feel. We live in a world where we're more connected than ever before, yet we're paradoxically more isolated. Communication has been reduced to likes, shares, and comments, and we've forgotten the art of true connection. This is the modern loneliness epidemic, a silent crisis that's sweeping across our societies, affecting millions worldwide. Loneliness, once a mere feeling, has morphed into a pervasive state for many. It's as if there's a thick fog of isolation that's descended upon us, blurring our view of the world and making it difficult to connect with others on a deep and meaningful level. And it's not just about being physically alone. It's possible to feel lonely even in a crowd, even when surrounded by people. This rise of loneliness in the modern age is attributed to a multitude of factors: the fast-paced nature of our lives, the digitalization of human interaction, the breakdown of traditional community structures, and a culture that increasingly values independence over interdependence. It's a complex issue with far-reaching implications, affecting our mental health, physical well-being, and even our mortality rate. Yet, amidst this bleak landscape, there's a beacon of light, a potential remedy for this modern epidemic. His name is Carl Gustav Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst who made significant contributions to our understanding of the human psyche. He believed that loneliness isn't a curse, but a call to explore the depths of our inner world, to confront our shadows, to integrate our disparate parts, and to ultimately find wholeness within ourselves. Jung's teachings, profound and timeless, offer a roadmap to navigate through the fog of loneliness, to foster a sense of belonging within, and to reconnect with ourselves and the world around us. But what if I told you that the teachings of one wise man, Carl Jung, could help us navigate through this sea of loneliness? Before we delve into how Jung can help us, it's important to understand who he was and what he stood for. Carl Gustav Jung, a name that echoes through the corridors of psychology, was a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst who founded analytical psychology. Born in the late 19th century, Jung's work has had a profound impact on fields far beyond just psychology, influencing areas like literature, art, and even spirituality. Jung's theories revolve around the concept of the collective unconscious, a term he used to describe structures of the unconscious mind shared among beings of the same species. He believed that this collective unconscious was populated by instincts and archetypes, universal symbols that can be found in various forms across different cultures and times. One of his most well-known concepts is that of the persona and the shadow. The persona, according to Jung, is the outward face we present to the world, shaped by societal expectations. It's our social mask. But behind this mask lies the shadow, the aspects of ourselves that we deny or ignore, the parts that society deems unacceptable. Understanding and integrating these hidden aspects, Jung argued, is key to personal development and self-awareness. This integration, or individuation as Jung called it, is a lifelong process that can lead us to a more complete understanding of ourselves. In the modern world, where we're constantly bombarded by images of perfection and success, Jung's teachings can provide a much-needed reminder that it's okay to be imperfect, that it's okay to have a shadow. His teachings emphasize the importance of introspection and self-acceptance, of understanding our own minds before seeking approval from others. In a time of unprecedented loneliness, where many of us feel lost and disconnected, the teachings of Carl Jung can serve as a guiding light. By helping us understand ourselves better, they can help us navigate the stormy seas of our minds and find inner peace amidst the chaos. Now that we know who Carl Jung was, let's explore how his teachings can help us in our struggle with loneliness. Imagine John, a man struggling with severe loneliness in his life. John, like many of us, finds himself isolated in a bustling world, where connections are a touch away, yet genuine companionship seems light years away. He's ensnared in his thoughts, his loneliness a constant companion, a cruel paradox that's hard to shake off. One day, while meandering aimlessly online, he stumbles upon the teachings of Carl Gustav Jung, a name he's heard but never explored. Intrigued, he delves into the world of Jungian psychology, a realm where the human psyche is a labyrinth waiting to be traversed, where loneliness is not a dead end, but a path to self-discovery. John starts with understanding his shadow, a Jungian concept that refers to the unconscious aspects of our personality we choose to ignore or deny. Jung believed confronting our shadow was a crucial step towards self-awareness. As John delves deeper into his shadow, he uncovers repressed emotions, unfulfilled desires, and discarded aspirations. It's a daunting task, akin to opening Pandora's box. Yet, he perseveres, understanding that this journey of self-discovery is essential in combating his loneliness. Next, John learns about individuation, another cornerstone of Jung's teachings. It's a process of integrating the conscious and unconscious, leading to a wholly realized self. Jung believed individuation could lead to profound inner transformation, guiding us towards self-fulfillment. John embarks on this journey of individuation, embracing his shadow, acknowledging his unconscious desires and fears, and integrating them into his conscious self. It's a challenging voyage, fraught with introspection and self-confrontation. Yet John finds solace, not solitude, in this journey. He discovers parts of himself he never knew existed, understanding his loneliness not as a curse but as a catalyst for self-growth. Slowly, John starts to feel a shift. His loneliness, once a gaping void, starts to feel less intimidating. He's still alone, but he's not lonely anymore. He's found companionship in his inner self, a friend he'd ignored for far too long. He's learned to listen to his own voice, to understand his feelings, to acknowledge his desires, and most importantly, to accept himself, warts and all. John's journey isn't over yet, but he's already feeling less alone. How? Thanks to Carl Jung. His teachings have not only provided John with a roadmap to navigate his loneliness, but also equipped him with tools for a profound self-discovery. And in the process, John has learned a valuable lesson, that sometimes the best company you can keep is your own. John's story gives us an insight into how Jung's teachings can be applied to combat loneliness. John began by exploring Jung's concept of the shadow self. This is the part of our personality that we often deny or hide from others. It's the part of us that holds our fears, insecurities, and feelings of isolation. John acknowledged his shadow self and confronted the loneliness residing there. He didn't run away from his feelings, but rather embraced them, and in doing so, he reduced their power over him. Next, John delved into Jung's theory of the collective unconscious. This is the idea that we are all connected on a deeper level, sharing common archetypes and experiences. John started to see his loneliness not as an individual burden, but as a shared human experience. This realization made him feel less alone and more connected to the world around him. In addition, John took to heart Jung's belief in the power of dreams. He began to pay attention to his dreams, seeing them as a window into his unconscious mind. His dreams provided him with insights into his feelings of loneliness and guided him towards solutions. John also embraced Jung's concept of individuation, the lifelong journey towards self-realization and self-actualization. He began to see his loneliness as a part of this journey, a stepping stone towards becoming his authentic self. He started to pursue activities that truly fulfilled him, making him feel more connected to himself and less lonely. Lastly, John looked to Jung's idea of synchronicity, the belief that seemingly unrelated events are in fact meaningfully connected. John started to see his encounters and experiences as part of a larger pattern, giving him a sense of purpose and reducing his feelings of isolation. John's journey wasn't easy. It involved self-reflection, acceptance, and change. But through applying Jung's teachings, John was able to transform his loneliness into a pathway towards self-discovery and connection. John's story is a testament to the power of Jung's teachings. But how can we apply these teachings in our own lives? Adapting Jung's teachings in our lives might seem challenging, but it's not impossible. Let's start by understanding that loneliness isn't a state of being, but rather a state of mind. Jung taught us that we all have a shadow self, a part of us that we often ignore or deny. To combat loneliness, we need to embrace this shadow self. This might mean acknowledging your flaws, your fears, your insecurities. It's not about eradicating these elements, but about accepting them as parts of who you are. Next, practice introspection. Spend time with yourself, introspect, and get to know your inner world. This will help you connect with yourself, as Jung would say, and alleviate feelings of loneliness. Finally, remember that the collective unconscious links us all. You are not alone in your experiences. We all share common themes and archetypes in our unconscious minds. Remember, in the face of loneliness, Carl Jung's wisdom can be our guiding light. As we navigate through the modern world, we are better off adapting Jung's teachings. These teachings are more than just theoretical concepts from an old textbook. They are practical tools, a treasure trove of wisdom to help us make sense of our emotions, our dreams, our relationships, and our place in the universe. Let's revisit the key points we've covered. We've seen how the modern world is rife with loneliness, a silent epidemic affecting millions. It's a world where technology connects us superficially, but often leaves us feeling more isolated than ever. We've explored the life and teachings of Carl Jung, a man who dedicated his life to understanding the human psyche. He showed us that our dreams, our unconscious mind, and our personal journey of self-discovery matter. They matter because they help us understand who we are, why we feel the way we do, and how we can grow from our experiences. We've also told the story of John, an ordinary man who was able to overcome loneliness through Jung's teachings. John's story was a testament to the transformative power of understanding our own psyche. It showed us that we are not alone in our feelings of isolation and that there is a way forward. And finally, we've discussed how we can adapt Jung's teachings in today's world. Through introspection, dream analysis, and the active pursuit of self-discovery, we can understand ourselves better. We can find meaning in our dreams, purpose in our actions, and companionship in our own minds. Jung's teachings remind us that we are complex beings with rich inner lives. They encourage us to embrace our individuality and to seek understanding from within. They offer us a way to navigate the labyrinth of our minds, to understand our emotions and to find connection and meaning in a world that often feels disconnected and meaningless. In our struggle with loneliness, let Carl Jung be our companion, our guide, and our best friend. His teachings are a beacon of light in the darkness, a guide to understanding ourselves and finding our place in the world. And in this era of unprecedented loneliness, understanding ourselves is the first step towards finding connection and combating isolation.